There's a curiously startling and popular mental phenomenon that has invaded the thoughts of just about everybody you know, maybe even you. It's the prevailing phenomenon or idea that a police officer's primary job is to keep members of the public safe from criminal elements. Generally speaking, nearly everyone believes this to be true. But to put it bluntly, this belief is as fictitious as the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, and the Tooth Fairy. And it's a dangerous belief. Those who adhere to this false tenet will, because human nature gravitates toward it, let their guards down and expect others to step in and protect them in dire circumstances. And it makes sense that people would expect the police to be protectors. That's how we've been indoctrinated all of our lives, and why else would billions of dollars in tax money be shoveled their way if this wasn't true? But it's not true, and this is how we prove it. Following the February 2018 shooting at Marjory Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, some students and parents claimed that local government officials were at fault for failing to provide protection to students. The students' lawyers filed suit naming 6 defendants, including the Broward School District and the Broward County Sheriff's Office, as well as School Deputy Scott Peterson and campus monitor Andrew Medina. The following week, though, a U.S. District Judge, Beth Bloom, ruled that the government agencies, quote, had no constitutional duty to protect students who were not in custody. Which is an interesting way to word this, since in reality, even individuals found in the custody of law enforcement agents don't survive the ordeal. Judge Bloom said, quote, "The claims arise from the actions of shooter Nicholas Cruz, a third party and not a state actor. Thus, the critical question the court analyzes is whether defendants had a constitutional duty to protect plaintiffs from the actions of Cruz." And it's important to understand the horrific context in which this judge makes this determination. It's the context of children losing their lives at the hands of a gunman in a public school, while police who are on the campus make the conscious decision to not intervene and protect them. The judge said, quote, "As previously stated, for such a duty," and to be clear, it's the duty to protect, "for such a duty to exist on the part of defendants, plaintiffs would have to be considered to be in custody." Now, this decision adds to a growing body of case law establishing that government agencies, including police agencies, have no duty to provide protection to the public in general. Daryl L Hutchinson, a professor and associate dean at the University of Florida School of Law, said, quote, "Neither the Constitution nor state law impose a general duty upon police officers or other government officials to protect individual persons from harm, even when they know the harm will occur. Police can watch somebody attack you, refuse to intervene, and not violate the Constitution." He pointed out the Supreme Court has repeatedly held that the government has only a duty to protect persons who are, quote, in custody, and they don't even do that very well. Moreover, even though the state of Florida has compulsory schooling laws, the students themselves are not, quote, in custody while on campus during school hours. Hutchinson said, quote, "Courts have rejected the argument that students are in custody of school officials while they're on campus. Custody is narrowly defined to situations where a person loses his or her freedom to move freely and seek assistance on their own, such as prisons, jails, or mental institutions." And I don't know about you, but that sounds exactly like a public school to me. And contrary to popular belief, Hutchinson is right. The U.S. Supreme Court has made it clear that law enforcement agencies are not required to provide protection to citizens who are forced to pay the police for their services. In the cases of DeShaney versus Winnebago County and the town of Castle Rock versus Gonzales, the Supreme Court has ruled that police agencies are not obligated to provide protection for citizens. In other words, police are well within their right to pick and choose when to intervene to protect the lives and property of others, even when a threat is apparent.
What's the duty of the police in your hometown to protect you from your estranged husband after you've had him served with a legal restraining order because you fear he may just try to harm you and your children?
In both of these court cases, clear and repeated threats were made against the safety of children, but government agencies chose to take no action. A consideration of these facts makes it crystal clear that law enforcement agencies are not on the hook for any violent act committed by criminals that the cops could have prevented. This reality does belie the often made claim, however, that police agencies deserve the tax money and the obedience of the local citizens because the agencies, quote, keep us safe. The truth is, throughout our lives, we are led to believe that there's an agreement here, a social contract between government agencies and the taxpayers and the general public. And by the very nature of being a contract, we're meant to believe that this is a two-way street. The taxpayers are required to submit to a government monopoly on force and to pay these agencies taxes. In return, these government agencies are supposed to provide services. In the case of police agencies, these services are summed up by the phrase, to protect and serve, a motto that has for decades and decades been adopted by numerous police agencies. But instead of serving and protecting, we find that they're busy harassing and collecting from the rest of us. So what happens when these police agencies don't protect and serve? That is, what happens when one party in this alleged social contract doesn't keep up its end of the bargain? The answer is very little. And most of the time, nothing happens to cops. The taxpayers will still have to pay their taxes and submit to police agencies as the lawful authority. And if agencies or individual agents are forced to pay as a result of lawsuits, well, it's the taxpayers who will have to pay for that too. Sure, the senior leadership positions may change, but the enormous agency budgets will remain. The government agents themselves will continue to collect generous salaries and pensions, and no government will surrender its monopoly on the use of force, even though you're not going to get what you thought you were paying for. The moral of this story is it's never wise to drop your guard and think a tax-funded protection racket is going to swoop in and save your ass from the merciless grip of shady street criminals, especially when the court-funded corporate racket is there to make sure the thin blue line mafia is immune from any and all interagency ball dropping. Take a second right now to leave your thoughts in the comments section below because it really does help overcome the censorship algorithms. And if you have something to add to this, we'd love to hear it. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. Don't forget to subscribe to my email list through my website, highimpactflix.com. That's highimpactflix.com. Also, follow me over on Facebook. We're definitely planting freedom seeds over there, and your comments under the videos make a huge difference. If you want to support the channel, the support links are in the description, and you can become a channel member and grab a hard-hitting conversation starting design that you can put on any shirt, hoodie, mug, hat, cell phone case, whatever you want. Remember, freedom is dangerous. The only thing more dangerous is not having it. I'll see you in the next video.